dong so je chonam lo chan ju ba to dani jas dage jenzo chonam ge do la benje sanje sanje judo zo je chonam lo chan ju ba to dani jas je dage jenzo je be chonam Dola benje sanje do barai shu sanje jedan zoge zona janjo bardo dani jazonje lage jenzo jebe zona Dola benje sanje do barai shu The great master Vasubandhu in his text he says from karmic action arises all universe and both the environment, the external environment as well as internal sentient beings arises from karmic action, and so it means everything are the results of one's own karmic action, and karma usually refers to action, and in order to have action there must be action doer before that, and so all kind of experiences that we have, whether it be happiness or suffering, both depends on oneself, and so creating positive activities will lead to happiness, and likewise creating negative actions will lead to a suffering. And so when talking about karmic cause and effect, instead of kind of looking out and then trying to find out outside, it's more important to kind of divert that focus to oneself and examining within oneself whether one is adopting positive action or not. And if you adopt positive actions and avoid negative activities, even if you don't plan, you will have a kind of happiness naturally.
대양 소수하기 넘길된 단 다 위기 넘길다 말인데 생기 상에 같이 생 이 자체도 주스구나 생기 넘길서지 잘 생각하고 그래야 다바터서 주스구나 뭐다 위기는 생기 넘길서지 생각하고 그래야 잘 거야 이게 전부 쉬우지 잘 거야 인디 남바상이 비주니 로종 냠는데 남편 망고인데 개바 망고기 중마마에서 마상하다 마스쿠아서 괜히 중마마가 정말 지마치마 정년되지 수수 냠냠되니 새로 다니 도시지가라 지금 남자하고 로종이 망고지 등이야 돼
Being kind-hearted, or the practice of altruism, is a very much kind of other-oriented thought, benefiting others. But the root of that practice is compassion, and the another perspective or part of that is this practice is a practice which is devoid of self-cherishing thought or ego mind. And so through this practice one can accomplish or serve benefits of oneself as well as benefits of others. And this is the result of one's own practice or one's own action. And more specifically, this is the results of one's expressions of one's thought or one's mind or heart. So therefore it becomes important practice. And for that matter, in Buddhism we find many different or diverse wide range of teachings on mind training, and it becomes furthermore kind of elaborated, furthermore commentaries, experiences of the practitioners.
아니 하게 이 미친 쪽이 롱 냠바리 그시 중나 때니 미기야 대 마주네 너무 롱 냠바리 문점지야 아니 갈래 타스인데 롱 냠바리 싸우는 메가서야 어다 때리 사람들 같이 신고 뒤지마가 로종스가 오늘 개 친구 수위차 완전히나 개 친구 신대는 개 친구 개 친구 차니 딱도 원도 주주로 소리 차려 어다 인디가라 orada nunca vai estar 로종 때문에 이제 나네 순간 로종을 다 돼야 돼요 다니마
And among the many different mind training texts we are studying, mind training like the rays of the sun by this great master Horton Namkapel. And this text, as you know, is the commentary to the root text of 7-point mind training, and considered as a very sacred, blessed text. And the purpose of studying this text, as you know, it's a mind training in a sense, promoting and generating positive thoughts or positive mind, and further kind of developing on that. On the other hand, if possible, or if one can, try not to generate negative thoughts or negative mentalities at all. If not capable of that, then at least kind of try to suppress or control when there are strong negative thoughts arising. And ultimately, kind of through very gradual process, trying to eliminate these negative thoughts or destructive thoughts from its very root. So therefore, in this practice, we find mind training practice very important for oneself as well as for the benefits of others. And in the text, we reach at the section where text deals with the measure of having trained the mind, and we will continue with the reading of the text. The measure of having trained the mind, if you have a book, is on page 88. When you look at Buddhist entire teaching, as you know, we called 84,000 heaps of teachings, and those which were translated into Tibetan language, we find 110 volumes, and translated commentaries by great Indian masters. In the form of a book, there are 275 volumes, but in the form of Tibetan text, 220. And then there are some, as His Holiness says, there are some which are not translated into Tibetan from Sanskrit, translated into some other languages like Chinese. And all of the purpose, or when you bring down all of those teaching into kind of the essence of all of this in one would, as we see here, integrate all the teachings into one thought, and that one thought is self cherishing or self grasping, to subdue that thought, or you can say the truth grasping. And so before studying mind training, and then after studying mind training, when you compare your two kind of thought or your mind, and if there is a benefit of studying or if the, if there is a kind of benefit in sort of reducing or diminishing your self-cherishing or self-grasping thought, even a small kind of reduction or diminishing, then that is it shows there is a benefit. It shows the measure of training your mind, the sign, the evidence that setting up mind training has benefited you. Otherwise, before setting and after setting, if there's nothing change, no transformation at all at your thought, then it didn't kind of prove any beneficial. You didn't had any kind of purpose fulfilled. There's nothing to be measured from the practice of mind training.
녀이나 니대야 외운 거라도 아니 이게 자파니스 진 덤바테기 교라테기 가르쳐거든요. 네가 와서 평가 잘 거서 송도 평가스 비가라 딱 가르 평가스 비가라 디링 와서 니지나 아니 다는 무충충 세나 디 솔렌디 디링 샤바 마제 자샤이나 지 보다 이게 잡아를 지든지 가정이 보통적으로 샤바 마제 자샤이나 디링 지마다 제여 말 상인인도 누구 나니가 인도 누구 또 답답 야파로 그래 송송도 어다지 오늘 경범신 멤버진 송도 어디 기분 남아니 멤버 송도 아니베 이제는 남들 신인들이 기타가 멤버지 송도 송류가라 어다 수수비 가지 도스체네 제가 이나 수수미 진도라는 뱅겨 어다 도스체 가지 너무 랑이 슈다사네 랑로라나 권주면다 수수 가르쳐 봐대 아니 수수가 하고 와 인도가라 어다 방분이 쓰리 랑게 랑라네 때 로조르 네베바네 슈다사네 남 통토레 어다 시 방부 시에네베 어다 즉 뭐서 해 때네 랑 유전 제네 뭐 사와 젠 기준 틀리어 가지네 와다 미치나 좀 말해 니에 차리 깨게 만 나빠지데 나베 부세 센텐세 제는 납선 노스미 제가 rumare 삼삼 지체가 있나 뭐네 에지 미로에잖아 행기도 와 미로야 미제라 행기도 와 가기도 와 와다 되지 무슨 정도 방법이 좀 뭐세도 와다 되지라 공부하지 거
당기 기술을 들러야 다생게 수요 대입수도 가면 야만 마법수도 가면 되셔. 수요 대바다 마법 제대로셔래. 기술로도 배치돼 있어 말 세우면. 인지날도 대치신 인지 들어오셔. The measure of having trained the mind, the text says, integrate all the teachings into one thought. And this is the root text, as you know. Since all the Buddha's teachings and commentaries to them were meant to subdue the misconception of self. So here it is translated as a misconception of self, and I usually use word, Tibetan word is dagzin, self-grasping. So self-grasping, to subdue self-grasping. And since that is the conception that is to be eradicated or exhausted, we should examine whether the activities of our body, speech, and mind favor and encourage the misconception of self or oppose it. If we find that they favor it, then we have missed the point of hearing, contemplating, and meditating on the doctrine. If, however, they oppose it, that is the sign of a successful practice of the doctrine, and that we have engaged in authentic mind training. This is the scale against which the practitioner should be weighed. We should ensure that we are not disappointed when subjected to such assessment. So, as mentioned here, everything kind of comes down into one thought, one practice, which is subduing this self-grasping thought, because the self-grasping thought is the one that serves as the root for all negativities of body, speech, and mind, such as arrogance, and therefore belittling others, and pride, and jealousy or envious thought when you are unable to tolerate the other's success, others' wealth, and all of these are the fruit of this self-grasping or the misconception thought, and so therefore as mentioned here, if you find, examining yourself when you find that, you know, your practice is going accordingly or correct, then those should be happening. And when that happens, when there's more kind of the negative thoughts going on, and if there's nothing kind of happening, even doing this mind training, then your practice is not kind of if you're not opposing it, then your practice is not going right. On the other hand, positive emotions and positive thoughts, such as when we look at the method in wisdom, wisdom being wisdom realizing emptiness, selflessness, and then able to discriminate what is positive versus negative. And then if you are engaging more in kind of a method aspect of having compassion, thought, kind-hearted, then really kind of rejoicing. The point, basically, when there is a negative thought, you need to be aware and end up with the doing a practice of confession or regret, maybe reciting 100 syllable mantra 21 times before going to bed, and when you through examining your mind, when you see there are lots of positive thoughts, and then kind of rejoicing, appreciating your own kind of practice. The reason why confession by reciting 100 syllable mantra 21 times is not to kind of multiply the negative deed that you have created. For example, if you have committed act of killing of just a small bug, if you don't practice this practice of confession or regret, leaving it as it is has kind of multiplies double by tomorrow and then double by day after tomorrow. So therefore, practice of purification or confession is considered as a very required, important, so that negative action that we created doesn't get multiplied. And this is often kind of emphasized by teachings by His Holiness as well as his true teachers and many of other teachers that utilize these teachings. So the ultimate purpose of this purification practice is for the benefits of oneself, and one only knows one's own mind, whether what's happening. And so with that, moving on, we should ensure that we are not disappointed when subjected to such assessment. The text says, so the 7-point mind training goes on to the next point. Primary importance should be given to the two witnesses. Two witnesses, the two witnesses here, the first witness is to oneself, because one is not hidden to one's own thoughts, so you will only know what is going on in your mind, so you should be kind of, you become one witness of your own thought and whatever practice. The other witness is kind of, others, because we use this in a sense, when we abstain from engaging in any kind of negative activities, we use understanding of, feeling of embarrassment and shame. And when we kind of look at why, what's meaning behind that, you're abstaining from negative act by using outsiders, others, not yourself, and you are using this kind of reason that I shouldn't be doing this negative act because I'm engaged in a Buddhist practice, or maybe I'm a Buddhist, so therefore it is not appropriate for other people to kind of see me as doing something against my own belief or thought. So two witnesses, one witness is yourself, and the other witness is the others.
니가 지켜들라 이 나보다 당신 내 몸도 손내긴다 이 나보게 얘네 증가라가라니 배 니치비어 승거 너무 단지 왕도 손나 아니 배 랑데라니 만배타는 것이 다 된 공장이 다 도스치니 치만 야완 로그인데 다 도스치니 미나 선아 이름만 되는 니체샤서 아니 랑 니바다 장지 니치비어 승거 아니 대화지나 이니 계시 뱅겨 그런 대신 뱅군 공기겠다 밀리트가 꽂혀서 야샤 이때 야부 중샤 이렇게 니마 야부 지셔서 어두 숨어서 숨어와 너 뒤에가라가 대신 뱅기 땅고 냠냠 나비가라 시버 파자 나고 가고리 좀어서 용거 말이야 아니 구매라 배 시버 파자 아니 배 가고 차버려 버루지 있는 것이 맨 배 자생지 때문에 근데 공물을 잡아 인사 자생의 배 원다 있는 배 자티티 바자티 왕기 아니 김자대 누구나 라바자데 라바자데 가라 아니 냄성 하나 라바지 긴지네 우마는 세계상을 쓴 거야 와서도 시대 왜 제가 있나 근데 진짜 팔단도 가라 아니 라바지 누구를 주 라바지 지 동수쟁이 아니 배 그게 시주야 돼 그게 시도 이 숨도 이리나 봐서 아니 여러 집에 와다 때나 신지 제톱이 있나 아 땐된 거를 yargen도 해요 이니 공부니 저 중세가 원래 그런 지도 몰라 태용 그때 딱이 대지 공부 주선하지 아니 배 이제는 오늘 무엇을 용해야지 차려 마음에 숨기니까 때나신 지나마저 떴으니 yargen도에 핑질성도 있어
Becoming a witnessing, to yourself, or being aware of one's own thoughts. For the beginners, in the part of this section, there's a tradition of sharing the story of Geshe Ben Kungel, how his level of his own kind of becoming his own witness is so high, is so strong, that he remains sort of constantly under his own kind of awareness, and to examine his how he spent his day. At the end of the day, he always mark with white and black kind of in his room's wall. If he did create some negative action, black mark or black line, and then if he did a positive, he mark with a white. So and at the beginning of his practice, he sees almost entire of his wall is kind of fills with black line and black mark, and gradually it becomes more white and white. And when at the end of the day, when he sees more kind of the black line or counting on the wall, he sort of he talked to himself. He kind of abuses himself. Look at how you spend your day. And now you have created and harmed and did all those destructive, negative actions, and you are going to take a rebirth in the hell realms and so on and so forth. And when he sees more kind of white marks or white counting, then he kind of appreciates himself, verbally kind of talking to himself that you have achieved the meaningful life. This life is meaningful. You made this life meaningful by creating all these, positive activities. And so there's also a story related to him. One time when he was invited to, to do, chanting practice, invited to his sponsor, and himself being in his earlier part of life, being a thief and robber is so used to kind of stealing, so his hand kind of slipped into one of the sponsors bag or purse, and immediately he kind of caught his own hand by another hand and said, "There's a thief in the room," and so that kind of shows the level of constant awareness of one's own action, and this kind of thought process, or maybe this kind of stories of the practice, if we reflect upon, can be kind of helpful in our own development of our practice. So the level of awareness, or the intensity of awareness that we see in Geshe Bengungyal's practice, if we have that level, that intensity, then definitely it will help us to to develop our own practice. And generally, in kind of fostering negative thought or harming others, there is no really guarantee that whether that kind of thought or practice will harm other, but one thing that is sure is that oneself is going to suffer, experience the negative kind of result. So, and looking at these two thought of self-grasping and truth grasping is something that is much more subtler and exists even up to the level of ultimate enlightenment. So for us, eliminating that truth grasping is much more kind of difficult and beyond sort of our reach. Even that truth grasping exists at the level of the noble beings, and noble beings or bodhisattvas during the meditative equipoise, they manage to kind of understand that every phenomena exists like an illusion. But during the post-meditative stage, they have a subtle kind of truth grasping or grasping to truth in their mind. In a sense, they have not even, they have not completely abandoned it. But for us as an ordinary people, it's more easier to kind of, understand the stain of self-grasping thought, and therefore kind of, diminishing the level of self-grasping thought. And in fact, truth grasping, the subtle truth grasping, are the subject of elimination only through the practice of Vajrayana path, not of the Sutrayana.
송데스 젠기 때군나 슈인중도 특유 잠보기 송도 자와타야 방보지 다만 많다 시기 또 선잠바잖아 때 방보지 원장 대미pen 내가 군도랑귤라 따치 따베치 랑게랑 미루 고 미요 미처바지 또인 지생기 최민대 민대 쇼 시라 로장웨 더 토투 주베체 로장 템바니 이제 마지기 윤도 템스 와다 때 봐서 와다 두스레
The text says primary importance should be given to the two witnesses. The two witnesses, as we mentioned before, one witness is one's own mind. The other witness is using kind of more, the others, or you can say oneself and others. Witnessing yourself in the text of the Perfection of Wisdom or Transcendental Wisdom Sutra, we find a mention about two kind of teachers, and the first one is kind of external teachers, which is a reference to kind of what we usually commonly understand as a teacher, somebody other than you. And the second teacher is kind of internal teachers, and that second teacher refers to your own positive qualities of the mind, such as compassion, kindness, or altruism, all of those. And the external teacher is, as mentioned before, is a common teacher that we have understanding. So we rely upon somebody else knowledgeable, and then relying on that spiritual teacher, we try to engage in the path and practice leading to liberation or enlightenment. And from that teacher, we receive all different kinds of vows and commitments, such as individual liberation vow, which is primarily abstaining from physical and verbal negativities. And then to more kind of higher level of vows, the vows of bodhisattvas, primarily abstaining from negativities of the thought or mind. And engaging in these practices, following one's spiritual teacher or external teacher, help us not to kind of take a lower rebirth or to achieve a higher rebirth. And following one's external teacher or spiritual teacher, we gain kind of second or more kind of ultimate teacher within ourselves, that is the positive qualities of our mind, as mentioned before: love, compassion, kindness, altruism. And so here we find kind of two reasons, ordinary understanding, abstaining from negative activities or bad behaviors. One reason we use yourself, I shouldn't be engaging or doing these negative activities because it is improper as a Buddhist practitioner. It is improper, against my own, kind of belief or my own standard of, moral ethics. You use yourself, so there is, kind of first witness. The second witness is, you kind of use others, to abstain from negative activities. But it's not, it's not kind of correct, appropriate to the eyes of others, so this, these two usually kind of we see translated. Um, these two words, one is I think embarrassment, and another is sense of consideration. One translation. Both of these two we find different words in Tibetan language, but the difference is that both are kind of abstaining from negative act out of some sense of shamefulness, embarrassment. But the differences between these two is when we say when we look at these two, sense of shame or embarrassment, the difference is the first one, you are using yourself as reason that abstaining from negative activities, and the second one is you are using others, for the same purpose, abstaining from negative activities, and opposite of these two are actually the opposite of non-embarrassment and sense of considerations. And these two are actually considered as the two of the treasure or wealth of the 7 treasures of noble beings. And because treasure is usually treasure or wealth is usually something that we considered to benefit us in kind of accomplishing our wish or satisfaction. So here these two are considered as a kind of treasure of wealth to fulfill the objective of noble beings. We'll take a break here. I think